Y retransmitiendo. Son puros pingüinos. Muchos pingüinos. Vamos a filmar así mejor, ¿viste? Si no se me cansa la mano. Muchos pingüinos. Una cosa volando. Ahí están muchísimos. Y sigue caminando. Ya se están haciendo el ejército. Ya es el ejército de pingüinos.
That'll be very much appreciated. We'll be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time.
No. Ay, no. Estúpido.
¿Qué dice?
Qué hermoso. Se rasca contra el vidrio. Hay gente. ¿Qué va a empezar? Hola.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Penguin Beach. My name's Andy. I'm one of the presenters here at the zoo. Today I'm joined by our fantastic keepers, Jasmine and Zoe, who are going to be giving our penguins a little bit of something to eat while I tell you all about them. But before we get started, go and just have as loudly as you can a nice cheer from everyone. And those penguins! Good. And then love you too. Now if you do like your penguins, you are in absolutely the right place because Penguin Beach is the biggest penguin pool in the whole of England, and we're just over 70 individual penguins. We've got the biggest penguin colony in London. There's not many penguin colonies in London, but this is the biggest one. So if you like your penguins and you're in London, this is absolutely the right place to be. Here at Penguin Beach we have two different species of penguin. Every penguin that you can see at the front of Penguin Beach, these guys just in front of me, penguins over by Jasmine, these are all Humboldt penguins. Now in the wild, they live in coastal regions of Peru and Chile. They're nice and easy to identify because they've got big pink circles around their beaks and they have big black sashes across their bellies. We've got one other species of penguin here at Penguin Beach, and there's only one of them, and it's not been very cooperative because it's not the easiest place for you to spot. But if you look right to the back of Penguin Beach, you'll see all these little wooden huts. If you look to the right hand side one, just to the right hand side of that, you'll see a penguin currently doing this. That is Ricky, our rockhopper penguin. Now the rockhoppers aren't the most creatively named animals in the world. They're called rockhoppers because they're good at hopping on rocks. But that's useful because they live out in the Falkland Islands. And you might just be able to see, if he lifts his head up a bit, he's itching it with his foot at the minute. But if he lifts his head up, you'll be able to see he's got his bright yellow head feathers on the top of his head because he is a crested penguin. So those are the two different species we've got here at the beach. Out in the wild though, you get 20 different species of penguin that come in lots of different shapes and sizes. So the biggest one is the emperor penguin. Now an emperor penguin stands at about 4 feet tall, which is about that. So you can quite easily put your arm around one and give it a cuddle. And the very, very smallest penguin out in the wild, it's only a cute dinky little thing. It's that big, it's a foot high, and it's called a fairy penguin. Bless his little heart. And they live out in Australia. Now penguins here at Penguin Beach, these guys are what it's scientifically referred to as flat average. These are your kind of bog standard penguins. But then you get bigger, they do get smaller. Now obviously, this week is Halloween. We are celebrating all Halloween in wonderful ways. Nature defends itself.
Quiero ver a los pingüinos en acción.
Animals from the past. And one of those is the Colossus penguin. As I said, an emperor penguin gets to about that big. Colossus penguin, he used to be about 6 foot tall. Weighed about 18 stone and could hold its breath for 40 minutes. So swimming down, you don't believe me, I'll prove it. They used to swim around in the sea eating huge fish for their dinner. Now, there's quite a few myths and there's quite a few misconceptions about penguins that I'm going to try and dispel for you. And the first one of these is that all penguins live in very, very cold, very, very snowy, very, very icy places. If I said to you the word penguin, probably the first thing you'll think of is snow and cold and ice and Antarctica and all sorts of things like that. Now, you do get penguins in very cold, snowy, icy places like Antarctica, but actually the majority of species of penguin live in very, very hot places. Places like Peru and Chile. You get black-footed penguins on the beaches of South Africa. And remember, our tiny little fairy penguin lives out in Australia. The rule you've got to remember, with penguins out in the wild, they all live in the southern hemisphere. So you've got the equator, riding around the middle of the world, all wild penguins are going to be underneath that. So you never see a polar bear and a penguin together out in the wild. Wherever Christmas cards might tell you not going to happen. But wherever your penguin is, and however tall your penguin is, they're all going to eat the same type of food. Now we count down from 3, after 3, once again as loudly as you can. I want everyone to shout out what penguins like to eat. 3, 2, 1. Fish! You're absolutely right. They love their sushi. Now penguins love their fish. It makes up about 80% of their
en el
diet.
mismo lugar.
Made from little crustaceans, little crabs, something called krill, which is like a small thing, got little bellies, and we can't make mushy peas or anything like that to make the fish nice. They just have to troll through it completely raw. But luckily, that's exactly how penguins enjoy their dinner. Now if you look towards the front end of Penguin Beach, you'll see Zoe slinging fish down into the water. Now there's a very good reason for this. There's 2 very good reasons for this. One of them is to try and stop these girls nicking it all. They're nothing to do with Penguin Beach, incidentally. They just come around this sort of time of day because there's a very good chance there's going to be some free food. There is also an excellent chance of you getting food on at some point during the tour. Now, if this does happen, allow me to be the first to offer my commiserations, but also my congratulations, because this will entitle you to a very exclusive I got hit by a poo at London Zoo sticker that you get from after the tour. Obviously, you need to see proof for the bull divers. All species of penguin can dive at least 100 metres. And actually the biggest ones, the emperor penguins, they can dive down as far as 500 metres, half a kilometre. So they're very, very well adapted to spending long, long periods of time down in the water. They've got all sorts of funky little bits and bobs around their body that help them do this. Now the first one, and probably the most obvious one, are their feathers. They are covered in feathers because they are birds. Now, this confuses a lot of people, and it is confusing, because they spend most of the time in the water and they can't fly, but they are still birds, so they are covered in feathers. Now they have 2 different layers of feathers. They have an inner layer, which is like a nice warm downy fluff layer that completes, and they have an outer layer, which is a very, very tightly interlocked layer at the top of the head. If you plan on doing this, I recommend that you don't, because you leave one of them scraps to 9. These beaks are incredibly sharp. Can you imagine trying to swim through the sea, trying to catch fish? That's a very difficult thing to do with just your face. So they've got a really sharp beak, that spears through the fish, and inside their beak is a tongue covered in spikes. That comes out, grabs the fish, holds it down for a lovely tasty treat. So all penguin species out in the wild have these different adaptations. We're going to tell you a little bit more about the penguins we've got here at Penguin Beach. As said before, every penguin you can see in the front half of Penguin Beach is a Humboldt penguin. Now in the wild, they live in groups of about 30 to 40, and they live in burrows. So if you look towards the back end of Penguin Beach, you'll see all these little tubes, all these little pipes cut into the rock there. These are all penguins' burrows down there at their nest. So when we hit breeding season, they pair off, head down there and begin to breed. And every single season, they'll go back to the same partner. It's a very romantic animal as the penguin.